So yesterday I asked you to draw your initial model of the door. What I want to talk about today is how, as we learn more about our subjects, we can improve our models. And improving the model does not mean that the original model was bad. It does not mean that you need to start over from scratch. You want to keep your initial model the way that it is. You want to see how far you've come. So you want to keep that initial model and add to it. And everything you add will be evidence of new information that you've now learned or you now realize is important. And so that's one of the really important things about models, is that they're always changing and growing. So what I would like you to do today is, on this same page in your notebook, I would like you to use something different to write with. So if you wrote with a pencil, I would like you to take a pen. If you used a pen, you can use a pencil. If you used a green pen, you can use a blue pen. But I would like you to draw what we draw today in a different color, so I can see your initial model and what was there and compare that to your now improved model and what information you've added to it. So most of you probably started by drawing a door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add what I think should be in a model. And what I would like you to do is, if there's anything I add to my model that you didn't have, please add that to your model, but use a different color writing tool, okay? So I've done this with my on-campus students, and so I have a good idea of what everyone's going to have drawn. If you have something that I haven't added, that's totally fine. I'm excited to see those things in your models. So most everyone has started with a door by drawing a rectangle. Now, we know not all doors are rectangles, so if you want to, you can add a little note here. Door shape may vary. So that's saying, my door is a rectangle. That's not really important. It just has to have some sort of door shape. Also notice, my door is not perfect. We are not making perfect models, and that's okay. Usually the next thing everyone says they added is a doorknob. And sometimes they'll say that their doorknob has a keyhole. Now, just labeling them is not going to be enough for me to know that you understand how a door works. So what does a doorknob do? Well, a doorknob turns. So we add some arrows here to show motion, that the doorknob is turning. And doorknobs, what their job is when you turn them, something happens. So what happens when you turn a doorknob? Some people say the door opens, but that's not what happens. It allows you to open the door, but what happens is there's a little piece over here that when you turn the knob, it makes this piece on the outside of the door move in and out. That piece right there is called the latch. So we have a latch here. So a doorknob, what it does is it moves the latch in and out, and this allows you to open the door. And then the keyhole, that's a place for the key, right? And it allows you to lock the door or lock the latch to keep the door closed. So the keyhole is a place for a key to lock the latch and keep the door closed. So where does the latch go? So when it opens and closes, when it pulls in, it goes in the door. Where does it go when it goes out? Well, most students have said there's like a hole on this side. Well, what's the hole in? It's part of the door frame. You can't have a functioning door without a door frame. So we need to draw a door frame. Now again, this is not high art. This is just a diagram showing we have a frame. If we need to get some serious details, we could make this better. But for now, this is great. So this is the door frame. And what does a door frame do? It supports the door in the wall, right? If you don't have a door frame, your door is not going to be very sturdy. It's just going to fall over eventually or tear itself off the wall. Also, the door frame supports the wall. So when the door is open, the door frame helps support the wall too. So over here on your door frame, you probably have a metal plate. And this isn't a perfect drawing, but it's a metal plate on the door frame, and that's called a strike plate. And a strike plate has it's a reinforced hole for the latch. So the latch goes in that reinforced hole, helps keep the door nice and closed. Now we are missing something else super important. Hinges. So my door is going to have 3 hinges. So then, what do hinges do? Hinges, they attach to the door frame. They attach the door to the frame. And they allow the door to swing open and closed, right? How do hinges work? Have you ever seen a hinge taken apart? They're going to have a plate on either side. One plate screws into the door frame and one plate screws into the door. Then there are these circular pieces of metal. They're kind of like a loop. And one side's going to have 3 of those kind of little metal loops, and the other side's going to have 2 of those little circular loops. And when those hinges come together, so imagine my fingers are loops. So I've got 3 loops on this side and 2 loops on this side. They're going to come together like this, and then a pin is going to fit in between those loops. So do you see how my fingers are now caught around this pin? So I can't pull them apart. It's holding together, but I can still open and close and turn around that hinge. So that's how a hinge works. So we're going to show these plates as they come together. And those loops, you're going to have 3 from this side, and you're going to have 2 that come from the other side. They're still screwed into the door. And then there's a pin that holds that together. So now look, we have a lot of information. A door is something similar. We think that we all know and understand, but there's a lot of moving pieces, things that we can explain to show we really know how a door works. Now, your door may have a lot of details on it that mine doesn't. Your door may have a window, it may have panels, it may have a deadbolt, it might have a doggy door. There's lots of details you could add. So no model is perfect, and in some cases you could say no model is finished, because I can keep improving my model and adding more to it forever. So guys, I want you to take a picture of this, and I want you to post your improved model today to today's assignment. So yesterday you posted a picture of your initial model. Today, I want you to do the same thing, take a picture and show me the improvements that you added. in a different color. So I can see that you had an initial model and now you've learned something new, or at least learned about some extra details of a door today. The reason this modeling is important is we're going to start talking about how the sun, the earth, and the moon move together, and we're going to use models to explain that. And so I'm going to want you to have initial models where you show me what you thought was happening in the beginning, and then I want you to compare that to what you know at the end, and that'll help me understand where you are and what you need to work on. Have a great time, guys, this evening and tomorrow, and I'm excited to see your models.